Hey gang, so today's another sponsored video by Big White EDC, and this time they have sent the Corian Lid accessory for the fortune cookie, and it goes right here. Now this thing is called cheese colored, and it is currently $38 on the site, and you can use the code TheFidgetFix to get 10% off. All right, it's the fortune cookie. Let's go. All right, here we go. Now, this is kind of looks like a bit of an underwhelming review because frankly, it's just this one little piece. It's gonna sit on top of an old piece. But we are gonna look at the major differences. I would also recommend to look, I guess I'll put the link here, my original review of the fortune cookie. So this, this very, very unique, interesting piece is actually quite cool and very, very addictive. It had some flaws though. One of the major issues, of course, that some of you found out is that this little Teflon plate is required. It is required simply because there is a lip here. And if you try to just put tape on here, the lip still exists, and the magnets in the top lid of the fortune cookie are actually balls. And when these balls slide across this lip, they start to break eventually. There's a lot of impact against the lip here, and they will eventually start to chip and crumble. And as I showed in this video, the problem is then you get all of these magnetic flakes everywhere, and it is a mess. So I actually stopped using this. I did my very, very best to clean it off. But those flakes, dude, like magnetic flakes are so hard to get off of a magnetic surface. I think I eventually got it and I sort of started using it again. But the other issue is just that the lid is too heavy. So the stainless steel, there's just way too much weight on it, and it falls off way too easy. I mean, now you can spin it and stuff because there's a lot of, like, you know, the weight itself, the momentum is awesome, but see, like, it is constantly flying off. It's too heavy. I mean, I'm sure some people might disagree with me. Of course, it's the internet, and everybody has their own opinion with things and their own point of view, but I just find this is not designed well when it's steel on steel because of the weight. So, Big White EDC, let's get rid of this. Big White EDC sent over the Corian yellow lid. And I gotta tell you, this is actually kind of incredible. This makes all the difference. Now I just knocked that off with my own finger. This thing, the weight on this is so good because it's so light. It takes so much more force to actually knock it off of the lid or the base here. And the thing about Corian is this is my first experience with it, and it is very solid. Like it's plastic, I guess, but doesn't really feel like plastic. And it can just like, it can put up with so much. And because of the weight, I don't know. I just find if you're a fortune cookie fan, now I know it keeps falling off, but again, it's, you know, I'm trying to get this an angle here for you guys to see it. So of course it's forcing me to be really awkward with it. But if you liked the fortune cookie and just found the steel lid too heavy, I 100% recommend getting this. It's pretty cheap relative to other fidgets, and you still get to keep the awesome bottom part of it, but you're replacing it with this top that is super, super light. And it's light enough that it actually makes it strong. And of course, we've got this, our little click. Even the sound's different. Like here's the Corian one, and here's the metal one. Now, the metal was amazing when there was no Teflon. I really, really enjoyed it. But again, it shattered the balls right away. So this, going for a lighter lid, really, like, I just find fixes, I'll say it fixes almost everything about this. It's still a little odd sometimes, like the magnets, you know, they're balls, right? So they're not a perfect flat on flat connection. There's, because there are balls, there's really a limited amount of surface that's touching the magnet underneath. So you're not going to get a completely perfect, I guess I keep saying the word connection, but you're not going to get a perfectly flat, strong connection. But because it's a curved surface, it lets you do stuff like this, right? You can spin for days. So I really find this a lot of fun. Now, for those of you that are curious, we can open this up to see if it is any different on the inside than the stainless steel. I don't think it is, but let's see anyways. Now, I'm gonna bring in my trusty tin, my little metal surface here, and let's just get, we'll take these little screws out. Of course, I am pinching with all of my might just to keep this closed, because there's also now I know with the metal one there were the balls, but there were also these like pins to keep it in place, and I don't want to lose the pins. Okay, so now we're on a metal surface. I should be able to just take it off. Yeah, there we go. So we actually have, oh, these are magnets as well. Okay, so are they? No, they're not. These are not magnetized. This is just metal, and it just keeps the lid, I guess, from shifting around, I think. Now we also have these magnets in here. So you do have two sets of magnets working. We've got the balls, which are magnetic, and these magnets here. So I guess, you know, they all kind of work together to keep it connected. But obviously these guys do the main work. These little posts, I gotta say, I'm not totally sure, although I'm guessing they act as a little bit of magnetic force as well. Like once they slide along the bottom here, you can see the magnets inside. Also, I can't take the Teflon plate off because I've used Loctite on it to keep it in place. So that is the other thing, as I'd mentioned in the last review of this, you really need to secure this down. And using Loctite means it's not permanent. If you use the blue Loctite, it just keeps it snug. So let's look here, but this is basically the exact same as the metal. These two posts, again, I'm not sure how important they are to the whole kind of, the whole setup, but I'm going to assume they are important enough. And then let's get this back together without dropping everything. All right. Yeah, this made all the difference for me. I actually play with this quite a lot now. Whereas I had given up on it with the stainless steel just because of the weight. This thing just weighs too much. Now again, some of you might prefer and like that feeling to it. It's just that I find it's not as secure, right? I don't have as much confidence in it when it's on. Like, yes, you can still do the tricks, but I'm being more gentle with it. I'm actually kind of turning the base a little bit so that it swings around. I'm kind of helping it out. Whereas with the Corian on here, like this thing, I mean, it's so light that, and I can't do any tricks right now. There we go. I'm telling you, this is the worst part of reviewing, is when you have to worry about the angle for the camera, and then it just kind of kills all your tricks, man. But you get the idea. You know what I'm talking about. Get off my back. All right, but highly recommend getting this. If you like the fortune cookie and you have not tried a lighter lid, absolutely try out one of the lighter lids. It's really worth it, and if it saves you from giving up on a pretty cool fidget, you know, spend the extra little bit, and then if you still have a steel, maybe use those as spare parts. If your steel's in great condition, then keep the balls as spare screws, right? Can't hurt. All right, gang. Thanks for watching.